In the same episode, she can be depicted as the worst possible person ever, and a couple minutes later they make a sob edit about her struggles on the show. It's time for another iland to recap and review. This episode is the longest so far, and at this point I just haven't been on iland socials, so we're just going to get straight into it. Anyways, the episode starts with where we left off last time, right before the UAL performance. I still don't see the purpose of leaving it out last episode because literally nothing happens in the training montage. It's what we expected. Jiyoon is critiqued, she rightfully gets upset, but then she locks in to try and get into the right mentality for the song. Like there was no point to leave it out, genuinely none. I thought the performance itself was okay, there were some parts that were good and others that were meh. Overall it's just okay, I liked it. It kinda sucks how hard Jiyoon does seem to try and change her mentality, only for it to not be enough. I think a lot of the mentors just talk to talk. It's not even that they have wrong critiques, but the fact that they just keep going and going. It's no longer critiques, just being annoying and mean. Tell a trainee they can't sing, sure you're right, good. But then follow it up by saying it's like listening to a goose quacking whose neck is knotted while simultaneously riding a pogo stick. Like you're not helpful. It's not even in a funny shady way, they're just so annoying and they don't stop talking. Especially producer 24 or whatever, like he genuinely is so annoying. I'm sure they're not like this in real life or on the daily. Evil editing can also extend to the judges, but if people can drag Jiyoon front and back and make accusations on her character for every single clip, then I'ma do the same. I'm not even voting for Jiyoon, and I think some criticisms are valid, but at this point the whole story arc surrounding her is getting frustrating to watch. Like you're kicking this girl even more when she's already on the ground. I do want to congratulate Jury because she did really well. Anyways, the results of the seesaw game are shown through the public reveal of their individual scores. Bang Jimin, 82, Choi-Sol, 83, Yuju, 81, Mai, 88, Sujing, 84, Juan, 83, Yui, 91, Junggun, 83, Sarong, 84, Coco, 88, Minsol, 68, CB, 93. The total scores are 490 for Whistle Team and 518 for Panorama. The entire Whistle Team is then sent to the ground. In ground, the winning team is revealed immediately, with Bad Boy Team joining iland. Those being potentially eliminated are Yoonchi and Yuiko and Minsol, which I did not expect her name to be called, and it's actually so upsetting that it was. Yoonchi is the first to be officially eliminated from iland. After that, Yuiko is the second to be officially eliminated. Anyways, after the elimination, the third mission is revealed to be iland versus ground. Every time the ground unit wins, 3 islanders will be sent to the ground. This mission will also have 2 eliminations. The songs are Vocal Unit to People for each team, Fine and Eyes Nose Lips by Taeyeon and Taeyang. Dance Unit 3 people for each team, My Bad plus The Really Long Name by G-Idol and SSERAFIM for iland, and Mic Drop plus Sugarcoat by BTS and Natty for ground. Creative Unit 7 people for iland and 5 for ground. Rain on Me by Lady Gaga, which I low-key did not expect. Here are the team members: Vocal, Junggun and Fuko, Jiyoon and Minsol. Dance, Juan, Jiwon and Coco, Yui, Sarong and Yuna, and the rest are added to the creative unit. The typical training montage happens, Somi visits to have a chat with the girls, and then we skip to the actual performances. The vocal units are up first for both the interim check and the actual performance. During the interim check, Junjun's voice cracks and they put in a clip of Jiyoon laughing with a voiceover of her saying they can win. Y'all don't fall for this. This is like actually the most obvious editing ever. Like, if you genuinely think Jiyoon laughed during the check, then I'm going to have to ask you to just not watch any more survival shows because this is the most obvious editing splicing genuinely ever. Anyways, they're really pushing storylines now, with the new underdog story for Junggun and the failed star with Fuko. Before anyone gets angry, both of these girls are in my top picks, but I'm still going to call out editing because it's interesting to note it. I even think editing storylines is good to some extent. It gives a show substance, but recently mnet's editing has become so obvious and just a natural trust. I'm sure it's always been this bad that it feels forced. Anyways, the girls did incredible. I was not worried for them like at all. They had like one mistake during the check and they fixed it and did amazing. During the interim check, Jiyoon messed up the timing and lyrics a couple times. What makes the whole Jiyoon editing as a whole frustrating is how it seems the producers can't decide if they want her on or not. In the same episode, she can be depicted as the worst possible person ever, and a couple minutes later they make a sob edit about her struggles on the show. Anyways, the girls for this unit also did incredible. I think they did a bit better in the emotion and tone department, while Fine unit did better with vocals and notes, but I'm not a singer so maybe I'm completely wrong. Anyways, I don't think I have a favorite, they both did really good and I loved both almost equally. Ground wins by 1 point, 92 to 91. The interim checks went really well for both dance units. During practice, however, Jiyoon has a hard time due to harsh critiques from Monica. Anyways, the actual performance itself was really good. I think they were amazing. That's literally how this episode ends. As a whole, I think a lot of parts of this episode were great on its own, but I hate how they're splitting the episodes now. It's not unbearable like how they split the original song challenge in Boys Planet, but it's definitely weird. The eliminations, for example, have no impact because they happen 30 minutes in, when the episode is to hold hours long. They easily could have had the Likua team and the first eliminations last episode and have this episode be the unit challenges, but they didn't. Again, so far it isn't detrimental, but it's definitely weird since we're technically having 2 different episodes in one and it's only half of each episode. On a good note, I think the performances are finally getting to the really good point. All of them were more than just good and they were all memorable. What did you think? What were your favorite performances? This week I won't be showing my top picks since we only saw half of the performances, so that's all for this week. Bye.